It's fair to say that the global pandemic has decimated the travel industry, with some countries seeing tens of billions of dollars in lost revenue. Some countries, like the Maldives and Fiji, pretty much depend on tourism. I can't even imagine how much these countries are struggling right now. The idea of hopping on a plane, flying to an exotic country on the other side of the world, and sharing a hostel room with people from all corners of the planet sounds completely alien and unthinkable. We didn't half take travelling for granted, did we? So in this video, we will go through the top 10 most impacted destinations in the world when looking at the total lost revenue from tourism. So, number 10, Hong Kong. Elsewhere in Asia, Hong Kong has also been hit hard by the COVID-19's pandemic's impact on travel, experiencing a revenue loss of roughly $24 billion. The Special Administrative Region of China has charted a path to recovery, however, with the Hong Kong Tourism Board recently launching a new list of hygiene protocols to help prepare for the return of travellers from around the world. Number 9, Japan. Japan's tourism industry has been equally hurt by the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced officials to postpone the Summer Olympics in Tokyo 2021. Japan's total tourism revenue loss is roughly $26 billion over the first 10 months of the 2020 pandemic, making it the 9th most out of all countries in the world, accelerated by the loss of profits from hosting the Olympics. Number 8, Australia. Australia is just behind the UK in terms of revenue loss, missing out on roughly $28 billion over the first year of the pandemic. Similar to New Zealand, the country has been praised for its swift response to the pandemic and remained vigilant as it continues to keep its borders closed to travel. The Australian government has been known to shut down entire regions when there is just 1 or 2 cases. Number 7, the United Kingdom. While the United Kingdom continues to be impacted by a new variant of coronavirus that experts say appears to spread more easily than others, the country's tourism revenue losses keep piling up, reaching approximately $28 billion. This comes to no surprise when London is the 3rd most visited city in the world. With by far the highest deaths in Europe, the UK has arguably been the worst hit by the pandemic. Number 6, Italy. Italy emerged as a COVID-19 hotspot in the early stages of the pandemic, and unsurprisingly, hasn't been able to put a stop to the dramatic loss in revenue from tourism, reporting roughly a $30 billion loss in the first year of the pandemic. The country remains closed to travellers from the US and other key markets. With an ageing population, it's fair to say that COVID-19 was and still is a serious threat to their population. Number 5, Germany. Germany's $35 billion in total tourism revenue losses from January 2020 to October 2020 is the 5th highest in the world and only trails Spain and France in Europe. The country lifted restrictions on travel from nearby nations back in June, but remains closed to many travellers now, including those from the US. Number 4, Thailand. Thailand often ranks in the top 10 for the most visited countries on Earth. It has everything from pristine beaches to jungles to crazy cities such as Bangkok, so it's no surprise that the pandemic has hit them hard. Even with the low amount of cases and deaths that they have had, Thailand has, however, begun safely and slowly reopening to international travellers, and that's welcome news for the country's economy, as the Asian hotspot has seen losses of around $38 billion. The figure is the highest out of any country in Asia. Number 3, France. The world's most visited country, France typically hosts more than 89 million tourists each year. However, the pandemic caused that figure to decline dramatically, resulting in a total tourism revenue loss of around $42 billion. There is a clear trend here. The most impacted countries, 5 out of 10, are situated in Europe. Number 2, Spain. Spain hosted fewer than 20 million tourists in 2020 and saw the largest tourism revenue loss out of any European country, at a mind-blowing $47 billion. The country did reopen to travellers from the EU in the past summer, but it's still off limits to many travellers, including those from the US. And finally, number 1, the United States of America. The United States has reported more COVID-19 cases and deaths than any other country in the world, as of January 2021. What's more, the US has experienced the biggest tourism revenue loss due to the pandemic, missing out on a crazy $150 billion in the first year of the pandemic. Many states have cracked down on travel in an effort to slow down the spread of the virus, but the country as a whole has also implemented bans on travel from places such as Europe, meaning that they are losing billions of dollars each week. So that is our top 10. We really hope that one day we can return to normal international travel. The days where you could just hop on a plane, get off at an airport, and immediately indulge yourself in the culture. Those days seem like so far away. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.